Hi, I'm Dustin Abbott, and I'm here today to give you a look at the insides and the design of this Bagsmart photography backpack, and then also to give you my kind of final verdict and who I think it's for and who it's not for. Let's jump in. Let's take a closer look at the design of the bag itself. Okay, let's take a closer look at this Bagsmart camera backpack, kind of rucksack style from Bagsmart here. So first of all, we'll take a quick look at the outer materials here. There are a number of different colors that you can get the bag in. Primary material here is a tough nylon that is somewhat water resistant. We'll double back to that in just a second, but is a nice durable type material that should wear very well. Here at the front, you'll see that there are a couple of buckles that allow you access to inner pockets here. Very easy to use, no problem with that. Metal on the top part. This is plastic, but it seems fairly tough. I will note that this is probably an area of vulnerability on the metal finish on this. It is seems to be fairly prone to scratching, and as you're going to see, there's going to be a lot of situations where these actual buckles are facing down, probably on the ground, and so expect, there to be a fair bit of wear on these. So whether or not that's an issue to you, you'll have to determine for yourself. Now, opening up this front section, a few things happen. So first of all, we'll look at the top. There is a basic flap that lays down. And then if we look inside the top portion here, it opens into a compartment that can be configured in a couple of ways. And we'll look at the other way it can be configured in a moment. Inside this, there is actually a bag that you can use to store, if you're using it for photography related things. You've got a zip portion. Or, it could be that you're traveling and you put some like toiletry type things in there. So you have some options for that. And of course, you could opt to not use that at all and just put some clothes in there or, whatever. And so, but you do have some options there. And so that's in this top portion. And you could, as we're going to see in a moment, you could configure to where the whole interior of the backpack was accessible through that, or a bigger portion, etc. And so we'll come back to that when we look at the other side. The other thing here is that you have two zippers that will open up this section right here. And this is really configured for some of the small accessory type things that are a part of doing photography. So it could be memory cards, it could be batteries, or other type things. I usually carry cleaning cloths and things like that. I've got a pen in here. And then on this side, you've got also some flexible pouch areas that could hold a few things. Phone, for example, here, or a very small tablet, not a large tablet. And so, they show tablet, but I don't know what tablets actually fit in a compartment that size. So I would say more smaller type things, maybe a portable battery pack, power pack could be there. And so that gives you a look at the front compartment here. Now on one side, you've got, this is actually designed for holding your tripod. And so what would happen is the tripod feet would go down in here. You've got a strap here that could hold down the upper portion of the tripod. And so when carrying it, this would hang down. And so you don't have, it helps to actually balance the weight. And so you don't have so much of the tripod sticking out above the bag itself. And so a good solid design when it comes to that there. On the other side, you have a kind of a pouch that's probably for a lot of people going to be used for something like a water bottle. And so anyway, it does have a fair amount of flex. And so you can come out enough to get that water bottle in, and not too much further than that. Now, as we move towards the back, I'll note a couple of things. So first of all, here at the bottom, you do have a zippered pouch where a rain hood is included. And so as I said, I've been out mostly in snow, and so I've gotten snow on here, and snow's not too bad because a lot of it will brush off, and the amount of moisture that remains, it's been able to deal with that. So I haven't actually utilized the actual rain hood. If you're out in heavy rain, using that would be wise just to keep everything from getting too wet. The straps themselves, you'll see that there's some good things here. There's actually a lot of breathing in here. You have some like nylon mesh kind of webbing, and so that helps. Good padding on the straps themselves, and then of course the actual chest strap does help a lot to stabilize the bag, stabilize the weight from separating out, and so helps it to carry well. You also have a very nice amount of padding here along the portion that will go along your back. Now, the primary way you're going to access the photography gear portion is by opening this up. And so, first of all, here we've got a place where you can store a laptop, for example, or a full-size tablet. Then under here, if we, I'll move those straps out of the way, take a look inside here. Now this, of course, from the back is that pouch that we saw from the front. And so as I mentioned, you could elect to remove some of your interior things here. And so there's most of the stuff can be taken out and removed, and so you could reportion this if you wanted to, maybe if you wanted to put a larger telephoto in there, and or if you actually wanted to do less camera gear and more of other type things, you could access it that way. But as you can see, you've got a good amount of room for gear. I've got a couple of camera bodies in here right now. I've got 4 additional lenses, the cameras with some lenses attached. And so that means, the way I've got it configured here, and you could, probably squeeze in more than that. We have got a total of 6 lenses and 2 camera bodies. So a pretty fair amount of gear. And of course, this flap helps to give you a little bit of peace of mind that everything is going to stay in place. And then of course, the fact that this is going over the top means that your gear is definitely very secure. And so in terms of the tour, that's how the bag functions right there. Finally, at the top, we have got a nice sturdy strap with a leather portion that you can grab onto, but it is also strongly secured there with nylon into the bag itself. So overall, there are some pros and some cons that I want to hit before I finish off the review here today. As noted in terms of the actual materials and the design of the bag, I think that all of that is actually good. And I've noted that just looking at people's user reviews, people's user feedback, the people seem to be pretty positive. Overwhelmingly, it's got a pretty high rating at Amazon, and so it seems like people are really pleased. It certainly is a very attractive backpack. It has a pretty sleek, it's fairly physically large, but it has a pretty sleek look, and so a lot of positives when it comes to that. And you can hold a pretty fair amount of gear in there. So if you're someone that wants to carry a fair amount of photography gear along with a few other things, there's not a massive amount of leftover space, but it is nice that you have some dedicated other space to put other things into, should you so desire. So here's who I think this bag is for. If you're looking to actually transport your gear and your priority perhaps is security, you're carrying your camera gear, you don't want to worry about someone stealing your stuff. This is a fantastic bag for that, because there's no way that somebody could inadvertently get into and steal your camera gear, because they would have to access it from inside your back essentially. And so great on the security front. On the flip side, however, if you're a person that's carrying your gear and you want to get at it on a regular basis, this is not a great bag, because the byproduct is that when you want to access your gear, you're going to be laying it face down, adding more scratches to those buckles, as I noted, and then opening up the back to get at the camera gear itself. And so if, like I often do, you're out for a hike in the woods, you want to bring along a number of different options, photography-wise. You're going to be out there and you're going to be placing the bag, face down fairly often, which is going to contribute to just kind of wear and tear and dirtiness on it. And so it's not really a bag that's designed, maybe to sling around a shoulder and pull something out from the side. And so I would say that this bag is really for those of you that are transporting your gear, but not using it in such a way to where you're often getting at it and wanting to pull your gear in and out. And so if that describes the way that you want to use the bag, then I have no problems giving this a recommendation. It's fairly priced at a little over $100. It's high grade materials, good stuff. And so, I think it's worthwhile when it comes to that. But if you're a person that wants to regularly access your gear, then I think that there are better options for that that are going to give you more easy accessibility to your gear. As I said, great looking bag, reasonably priced, and if you're someone that wants to transport and protect your gear, it's a great recommendation. Take a look at the Bagsmart. I'll throw some links in the description down below, and so you can go and check it out and purchase one for yourself. And of course, you can also take a look there and find ways to follow me on social media, follow my Instagram, my other social media accounts, or you can sign up for my newsletter. And if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.